Hello and welcome back to Soul Blazer. This is Bio Enchanted, and today we'll be going through the first part of the final main dungeon of the game. So let's head in there, shall we? Of course we're back to the usual dungeon music, which is kind of a disappointment after the last dungeon had its own unique music, but can't have everything. So we actually need to stick around the outside wall for this first part of the dungeon, because there's a danger we can't face right now. Well, as far as around the outside walls we can, anyway. Because we're just going to try and avoid spawning an enemy that, if it spawns early, can be a huge pain to deal with. At least right now. I quite like the enemies that kind of start on the screen and just kind of crumble into life, like the reindeer things from the mountain or these skeleton things. It's always a very cool visual for me. I always quite like that. Because it means you know exactly how many enemies there are going to be, so it doesn't constantly fatigue you by having a million enemies constantly showing up, which is always a little annoying. Now, of course, we can find spirit swords, so let's do that, shall we? Oh dear, that's the guy we don't want to spawn quite yet. That's because we haven't got the sword he mentioned, the spirit sword, which is right... Come on, there we are, right here. Let's quickly equip that so we can kill this ghost, shall we? Because of course now we can kill spectral enemies. And that's both kind of swords we have as well now for killing special enemies. We have the metal sword for killing the metal... Zantexican rather, for killing metal enemies. And my god, these ghosts are annoying. Because they kind of like to teleport and spawn into you. You have to kind of keep moving and hope they spawn so you can just hit them again. But for some reason, sometimes if you move in a certain way, they won't respawn on screen for a while. So you end up with like a bunch of ghosts spawning at once from the spawn point, but they're not popping up back on screen so you can actually hit them. Sometimes you don't do it at all, which is fine, but sometimes you just keep spamming it and it gets really annoying to deal with them. But at least now we have the sword that can kill them. Which also means now we have both swords. After this dungeon, we'll actually be, at the end of this dungeon, we'll actually be doing the big backtrack to get all the stuff from the previous dungeons we couldn't get before, because we didn't have the right weapons to kill the enemies to do that. We have both the right weapons now though, so that's nice. This is me slightly sequence breaking. We don't know that's meant to be there yet. The harp string is something that an NPC that we haven't unlocked yet tells us about, but I just kind of want to get it out of the way to avoid breaking up the flow of the dungeon too much, basically. Because it allows us to solve a puzzle much faster. These things can be quite tricky because they're very, very fast. Yeah, this girl did have a massive hitbox, I don't know what's going on there. But I quite like the torture chamber, although the ghosts are a bit annoying. I like the atmosphere of all the skeletons and things. And of course this part of the dungeon releases one part of the enemy type that's also a little bit annoying for different reasons. These guys. Which are annoying for reasons you'll see right now when these guys spawn from here. Because they are fast and they're constantly slipping around. You need to kind of... hope you can hit them in some way. Because often they'll move before the magic hits them and that's really annoying. Because of how quickly they move them, you can send the magic spell in the right direction, but then it'll move to a different spot and it won't hit, and it's just... they're a pain to deal with, but luckily these ones on the right haven't activated yet. So we can just kill these before they even start coming close to moving, which is very nice. So let's take care of that, shall we? course, is a ghost coming up too. Plus, of course, Skimag's throwing all the stuff at us, and there's also these little guys throwing fireballs at us. So this game's just being a little bit mean right now, and not letting me just do things. But finally, the town's starting to build itself. We have a singer now. Yep, and there is the puzzle. We've already solved that puzzle. I mean, we still can't do what we want to do with it, but we'll see that later on. Because these guys are smaller than those balls. This is definitely one of the more impressive locations to feel like you're rebuilding, because the buildings are much bigger and the infrastructure is much more clear than in Green Valley, for example, where this place actually has like a lot of roads and things like that, so it feels like an actual town in a way that Green Valley didn't quite. Because Green Valley was more of a farming community, this is an actual like city, and it feels it. Like the mining town was just a bunch of tunnels. The memory town was platforms underwater kind of thing, which is something, but this place is the one land-based city that has actual roads and feels more like a city as a result. Is our hint for the upcoming part of the game too? Yeah, these ghosts can be really annoying, because, there we go, sometimes they can just not spawn back in the screen again, sometimes they can just stay gone for a bit, and then pop up just when you're least expecting them, and that's really irritating. They actually remind me a lot of the ghost enemies from Witcher 3, but at least those guys are in 3D so you can dodge them more easily when they show up. And those guys, you can stop them disappearing with a spell, which is very nice. And also we have a secret to find over here. Some gems, but also over here we still have one thing to do. If we walk through this wall, we can just get straight there. We can spawn more of these idiots. Come on, idiots, go away, little balls. And a statue. This is actually one of those things where there's actually a spirit that we get in this town that gives us the ability to see these secret passages, but I just kind of know it was here, and so I might as well just do the thing. Because it keeps me from having to come back here. Well, getting back's a little bit annoying, but fine. But yeah, as you can tell, I kind of know this dungeon pretty well. Let's take care of these ghosts, shall we? I mean, they mentioned thorns, but that's kind of a weird way of putting it. We'll see that in a minute, what they actually meant by thorns. I think you can probably guess. And yeah, this place has the most of these guys, most of the monster lairs. There's a lot of experience to get, so let's take care of that, shall we? I also quite like that you can see inside the building as you're building it up. That's always a nice visual. We can see like the furniture and the walls, and then the ceiling shows up to seal the whole lot. And that's pretty neat. And also, you have a kind of a bypass thing if you do want to go through the monster lair. But why wouldn't you want to go through the monster lair? You wouldn't get the maid otherwise. Here's an invisible chest. And a secret emblem. And this is what it means by thorns, these little spikes. Not really thorns. But oop, now we're in a bit of a pickle with thorns. There's so many of them all over the place. This is why we'll need the thorn armor. The elemental armor to stop us taking damage from these thorns. Because I think you can probably guess from what the guard said, that's what that armor will do. There we go. Look at those idiots. And now we have a warp point, which is what I was waiting for before we actually went to do this stuff, because that way we could just warp straight back here and not waste any time marching all the way to the basement again. So that's why I braved the thorns the way I did. Again, streamlining. So also that's like the last point in the dungeon where the thorns were avoidable. Easily avoidable anyway. And here's the road. A little dark humour going on here. The best kind of humour. And one these games tend to excel in. I like that his uncle is the architect from the first town, that's cute. Let's get a little more plot, shall we? I kind of like they do good of trying to humanize the guards a little bit. I mean, it doesn't work. I mean, the Nazis tried the same logic, but you know, it's interesting that they're trying. And given this guy's now being openly defiant, I think we can at least give him a pass. Now that he's actually doing something. Even if that's something he's making us do suddenly. It's still something. Oh, he's a rude man. Fine. So in here, let's actually solve our little puzzle, shall we? Partially solve our puzzle, anyway. There's a guy who hasn't spawned yet that we need as well for this. So we haven't sequence broke that badly, it's just we have the harp string already. That we haven't been told about yet. Let's just fix that problem, shall we? It seems something to do it later. Well, Lisa's back now, so you can always tell her now. I like this little song, it's a pretty cute track. I like that it plays throughout the town as well. That's a neat little thing, I quite like that. It completely changes the track of the whole town, not just that room. It's a very wistful little melody. So let's use our teleporter to spoil that and get back to the dungeon, shall we? Now we have our elemental armor. Now we can just walk straight on the spikes with no problem. I mean thorns, if that's what we want to call them. But yeah, this is why we need this armor now. Because there are a lot of thorns coming up. Although we could easily avoid these ones as well, it's really kind of... That's one thing I quite like as well, you don't really get carpeted with thorns yet. It gives you a little option to, if you're really looking at the movement, you could theoretically just wander around with thorns and do fine. It just wouldn't be a very advisable idea. And here's the guy we need. The mildest of sequence breaks. Oh, and these balls. I hate these balls. They are so irritating to deal with. See what I mean by them moving just as you cast a spell? They're really annoying to deal with. I really dislike these balls. I actually killed most of these snakes already as well on the way. Let's kill the best. And more balls. Let's just kill them from afar, shall we, before they get actually activated. Because these guys are like on the sweet spot where they're on screen so they're spawning, but they're not close enough to us to be all, ah, you're here! Which is very nice. It's always good to be able to kill those enemies before they really activate. And that's kind of a hint for where we need to go next. But first we need a left tower. So the castle's kind of bare right now. I mean, the castle doesn't really exist yet. We have some of the town, but we haven't rebuilt any of the castle. So let's fix that, shall we? Ooh, we have a left tower now. And now we're back at this part there as well. We've kind of reached the end of the basement, and now that's all we can do here. So let's move on, shall we? Now we have all the pieces, we can actually solve the puzzle properly. And figure out how to get where we need to get. So first of all, we need the breadcrumb trail. We need like some kind of way to get in, and what we need to get in is that platinum card that he just mentioned. We don't have one yet. I don't know exactly where the wall is. I didn't pay much attention really. I think it might be probably around the outskirts of the town. I think that's probably what he's talking about. But this is why we need this guard. He has the platinum card under his feet, but the guard's standing on it because he's an idiot. So let's get him moving, shall we? And now the song plays, the guard dances. Now the card dances, we can move and grab the card. There, it's our shiny new platinum card. We can use that to pay for groceries too if we want to. We can get points towards an airplane flight, I think. And yeah, the heartstring was a present from his friend. A bit oddly translated, that line, but it's like his friend was taken to the dungeon for reasons because he opposed the king and he died there. And now we've grabbed his string and gave it to the other guy so he can play his harp. So we can grab the card from under the card's foot. Now we have that, we can actually unlock our way in. So next time we'll be heading to the left tower. I'll see you then. Goodbye.